The semiconductor market continues to be on a nice downfall. We can see as I am recording, Nvidia stock is down roughly 4.7%, sitting at $106. We can see AMD is down roughly 1% before reporting earnings in a few hours from now, sitting at $138. So on today's episode, I want to take a closer look at what we've heard from various semiconductor companies right now about the AI market. Because one of the sentiments impacting a lot of these semiconductor stocks right now is that, hey, look, AI demand is not there anymore, and that we're eventually going to see a weak down in demand for AI chips, which obviously bodes bad for companies like Nvidia and AMD. Quick spoiler alert, I don't think that's the case. We've had already over 15 semiconductor companies report earnings, and they are saying pretty much the same thing about AI. AI is real, and the demand is still high for the foreseeable future. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so right now, a lot of semiconductor companies have reported earnings, and some of them are in the AI market. For example, ASML, TSMC, Cadence, Micron, Silicon, Tower Semiconductor, ASE, SK Hynix, Clack Corporation, and the list goes on and on. So let's take a closer look at what ASML said about the AI market in their most recent earnings. So Christopher, the ASML CEO, mentioned that they currently see strong developments in AI driving most of the industry recovery and growth ahead of other end market segments. AI is driving what they would say right now is the biggest part of recovery. This is true for logic. This is true for memory. In memory, obviously, high bandwidth memory is such an important product for AI chips, and that's becoming one good growth opportunity from ASML. So for those not familiar with ASML, the stock right now is sitting at $869. Year to date, the stock is up over 21%, but we can see from its year to date high, the stock is down over 20%. ASML is an important creator of a semiconductor equipment that is used for advanced AI chip solutions. So companies like TSMC, like Intel, like Samsung buy ASML's equipment so they can build the best AI chips out there. So TSMC also mentioned a lot about the AI market. They mentioned that the company is experiencing strong demand for AI applications across various sectors. As the strong structural AI related demand continues, they continue to invest their support in growth, in customer growth. Things like advanced packaging, which is needed to build AI chips. TSMC is expanding at rapid levels. Last year, they more than doubled, and this year, they're expected to at least double again. They mentioned that right now, supply is not enough to be able to keep up with demand, and they don't expect supply and demand balance to happen anytime until at least 2026. TSMC mentions that AI alone, only AI alone, will be very useful tool for humans being to improve all the productivity in our daily lives, be it medical, industry, or in any product manufacturing industries or autonomous driving. Everything you need will be AI. So if you're wondering where I'm getting all this information, I actually have an ebook for this Q2 2024 earnings that I'm updating almost on a weekly basis. We have almost 20 companies already here that have reported, and I am updating on a weekly basis. So we looked at ASML, we looked at TSMC. Next week, I will be adding even more companies as we have a lot of semiconductor companies reporting right now. If you want to purchase this book and get all the free updated versions when they come out to your email, make sure to check out moresemiinvesting.com. If you purchase the two ebooks that I have, one is kind of an encyclopedia, the second is kind of this earnings insight handbook. If you purchase both at the same time, you do get $20 off at checkout. So make sure to check it out at moresemiinvesting.com. So now TSMC stock right now is sitting at $155.34. Year to date, the stock is up over 53%, but from its year to date high, the stock is down roughly 18%. So we are seeing this nice correction happening in the semiconductor space. Now, if we take a closer look at Cadence, Cadence mentions that right now they are heavily focused on AI, with CEO Devin kind of stating that AI is broadening out beyond data centers, which they are glad to have great partnerships to automotive, to more edge consumers, devices like phones and PCs. So we can see that the semiconductor market is going to benefit from the AI space in other industries as well, outside of just data centers, because Cadence, which is a provider of a software to help build chips, is seeing a kind of growth in chips outside into the edge market, like the phones and the PC markets, which are expected to see a nice tailwind in the future. Cadence right now is sitting at roughly $251. Right now, it is down roughly 3% for the day. And year to date, from its year to date high, the stock is down roughly 23%. Cadence is actually down on a year to date basis as well. And this is pretty interesting, as this is one that usually outperforms the market. Maybe it's one I need to keep a closer eye out on. Now, instead of searching the book, I do have a lot of the information here on this X tweet. We can see from Micron. Micron reported a few weeks ago, and they see significant growth opportunities in AI-related products. They expect to generate roughly $700 million of revenue from HBM this fiscal year of 2024, and multiple billions of dollars in revenue from HBM in fiscal 2025. The company anticipates growth in AI PCs and AI smartphones, as they expect next generation AI PCs to make up meaningful portion of total PC units in calendar 2025, growing each year until most PCs ultimately support next generation PC specs. So again, from Micron Technology, we continue to see that, hey, look, AI chips are no longer just for data centers. It's something that can also benefit the overall semiconductor market. Year to date, Micron is up roughly 26%, but we can see from its year to date high, the stock is down roughly 32%. Now I'm going to talk about another popular memory company, SK Hynix. They mentioned continuing from last year's demand for AI memory product is seeing another year of growth. Along with HBM, demand for high-density server DRAM and enterprise SSDs are also rising. An increase in content for PC and smartphone is also expected in order to support AI features on devices. So very similar to Micron, we are continuing to get this evidence that the AI market is still seeing huge growth in the data center side, but it is now coming to edge products like smartphones and PCs. CLAC, a company that deals with semiconductor equipment, mentions that advanced packaging, they are raising their 2024 revenue estimates for advanced packaging to over $500 million, up from $400 million, due to AI adoption is driving higher volume in wafer manufacturing, more complex design, larger die and chip side, and growing advanced packaging demands, which support an increase in process control intensity. So overall, we can see from a lot of these other semiconductor companies that the demand for AI is still there. All these other semiconductor companies have not said that there is a hiccup. So if one of the fears for companies like AMD, like Nvidia right now, is that AI demand will slow down, I don't think that's the case for the foreseeable future. Obviously, that can change in the upcoming quarter, but in the upcoming earnings later this year. But at least from what we're hearing right now, that is not the case. So I think right now, obviously, certain companies might have been overvalued to some extent. That's why dollar cost average is, in my opinion, a very important tool. For me, the semiconductor market is now sitting at very, very great valuations when you look at companies like AMD, when you look at companies like Nvidia. And to me, like I mentioned, I think there's now the risk to reward ratio has gotten so much better. In the short term, anything can happen, but I want to say in the long term, there is still that bullish trend for the semiconductor space and for a lot of these semiconductor companies. So for me, I am nowhere near bearish. I am nowhere near selling. I will continue to purchase stocks in the semiconductor space. Another market that I haven't really discussed recently is the automotive space, but I think the automotive market is another one that we should be keeping a closer eye on. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I do appreciate for anyone that does pick up the ebook. I promise there's a lot of great information there. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.